What's up, everybody? This is NealReal, and this is The Father You Didn't Have. Wisdom from an elder about relationships and happiness in life. Like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get right into this topic. Are you really attracted to that person? The goal of this message here is to help you understand the level of attraction you have for somebody. Now, a lot of people will say, well, I know I'm attracted to this person, this, that, and the other, but are you really attracted to them? Before I get into that, people will look at people and give them numbers. Men will often do this in the manosphere on YouTube, or even in before that, it was just men would give women numbers. Oh, she's a 7, or she's a 10, or she's a 5, and this, that, and the other. And these numbers are subjective because one man can label a woman a 5, and another man can label a woman a 8 or a 9 or whatever because of their personal preferences. And I talked about why we are attracted to the people we are attracted to. And I mentioned that comes from subconscious programming. How we grew up and the people around us and how they treated us created a picture of what we should be attracted to based off of that treatment. So you can check out that video or talk on that as linked in this video here. But I got off the number system because one number may mean something to somebody else, and it's crazy. It can get crazy. However, you can still use this system. You can call them numbers, but I just don't do that. The reason why I had to learn what I was attracted to and what I was not, because I grew up in religion that taught me to be attracted to things perhaps I wasn't attracted to. It's a very weird thing. Not only did I find that in religion, I found it in mainstream media. Mainstream media will try to shame men into believing that certain women that they don't find attractive are attractive. So right now they're trying to shame men into liking women that may be overweight. Now, there are men who like women that are overweight, what they would consider fat, but there are many men that don't. However, the more media, or if you're religious, the more religion presses the mind, the more that they may end up, dealing with somebody that they're not really attracted to. Okay. And so I mentioned, how do you know if you're attracted to somebody? But in this message, I'm going to show you how attracted you are to them. You got to figure that out. And so let's get right into it. And this can be applied to women as well. Women are often in religion. They're told, you should probably deal with this guy, even though she don't look at him with any favor visually. The mind has the ability to trick itself into believing that they are attracted to somebody only to fail later on. All right. And so I don't want that happening to people. I don't want people marrying people or dealing with somebody long term and they're not attracted to them, because they're not going to be happy. Okay. So there are 3 levels of attraction, really 2, but let's go down the line. You either find a person attractive, very attractive, or unattractive. Okay. That's it. No more numbers. There's either a person that you said, that's an attractive person, I like how they look. There's a person that you look at and say, damn, that person is very attractive. And then you have a person that's unattractive. Now that's the tricky one, because there may be things about the person that are attractive, but then there's things that are not. And so that's what I want to talk about the most. And that's why the name of this video is, are you really attracted to that person? Because there are a lot of people in that category that seem like they're on the fence when you look at them. And so let me knock out the first 2 that everybody kind of understands. The attractive person. So when you're looking at them, there's nothing about them you want to change. You love what you see. You like them. You are attracted to them. You actually want to go up to them. And here's very attractive. When you see a person, it's almost like that you're stunned. You can't stop staring. It makes you say, damn. As a man, damn, or good Lord, or some word to describe what you're seeing. They're so overwhelmed by the beauty of that person. Well, that person is considered very attractive. Okay, so let's talk about unattractive. So here's the thing about unattractive people. When you're looking at them, we all know the people that just immediately are off-putting, or they just don't fit our preference. Their features are so far from what we are, that we prefer, that we say, oh, that person's not it. But then there are people in the middle where you're not sure. Something's off. You like their face, but you don't like their hairstyle. You like their eyes, but you don't like their nose. You like their legs, but you don't like their behind. It's stuff like that. And like I said, this is stuff you should keep to yourself, obviously, because that person is who they are and there's nothing wrong with them. So, to be telling somebody you ugly and your stuff is off, that's who they are. You can't go around telling people that. But anyway, I'm just trying to help you to understand, your level of attraction, and are you really attracted to this person? Because there may be things that are attractive, like a woman may have big breasts, but her face to you is not that attractive, and perhaps you're a face man. You really care about how a woman's face look. Once again, it's based off your preferences, so nothing wrong with her face. It's far from what you prefer that's been programmed in your subconscious mind. Okay, so you're saying things like you're not sure, something's off about them, you want to change something about them, you like some things but you don't like others. So that's where you say, okay, if this is the case, what you need to be doing, and this is what I tell people, it's men in particular and even women, if you have all these issues with this person, so there's stuff that you do like but stuff you don't, it's visually I'm talking about at this point, then put them in the unattractive category. Because to be with somebody that you are not completely happy with visually, and you want this to change and that to change, it's going to come out at some point. This idea of men getting their women to increase their breast size. He should have married a woman with big breasts. That's it. Because he essentially said, I like her face and her body, but her breasts are too small and I prefer big breasts. Then you should have got a woman with big breasts. You don't change the woman to fit your needs. She's not a car that you can install different parts to, and this is a person, and that's how they were built. And what you're saying is to her, subconsciously, you're telling her she's not good enough. You're not accepting her as she is. That's the body that she has. There's nothing wrong with her behind, or there's nothing wrong with her breast. There's nothing wrong with small breasts. That's how they are. There's nothing wrong with big breasts. There's nothing wrong with a flat behind. Why do you have to have a big butt? Because everybody else has one right now. That's the thing. And we got to go out and get surgery. But some men will get women and then try to alter them going down the line. Because I grew up in religion, I had this thing on me where I had to accept certain women. I ended up marrying a woman that I was not necessarily attracted to. And there were things that I would see in her. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I wish that wasn't like that. I wish this wasn't like that. But I would repress it because this is who God has given me, So religion has a part to play in this, but also the mainstream media. Right now, they're shaming men. Hey, you need to accept these fat women. Even though these men don't find them attractive, some of them don't. Like I personally like BBWs on top of slim women and fit women as well. So I have a variety of preferences when it comes to women, but some guys don't. And here they are being shamed from the media. And some guys may end up with these women and say, well, they got a good heart. You really should probably consider Jessica, big old Jessica. You need to consider Jessica. And, let's say Tom is being pressured to consider Jessica. And Jessica has a pretty face and, she has some nice hair, but she's overweight. And Tom does not like overweight women. But he likes her face. But she's overweight. He doesn't like her body. He prefers slim women. Now, he's being pressured by his community to go along and date her and stuff like that. And this is happening at a young age, by the way. So a lot of these men are taking on relationships with women that they don't find attractive because they were pressured by their parents, particularly their mothers in some cases. And they're now in relationships with these women. And they find that they're not as sexually aroused by these women, that they are always wishing that things were different with them. And so it may come out in various ways where they begin to mistreat that woman and say, I wish you wasn't so fat, or the fat jokes or things like that. The same can be for somebody that's slim. You shouldn't have been with somebody if you constantly making jokes about their weight or their lack of it. So I'm telling this to people so that you don't end up in a relationship where you're not happy and now you're starting to cope negatively about it because you really shouldn't be there. Now, I know we all, unfortunately in this society, people are just taking what they can and because they need somebody, but we got to get better at this. And because this isn't right. So I try to teach men and women that, look, if you don't like something about a person visually and it is bothering you, it's kind of like fluctuating. On one end, you're attracted to them at one point, and then a certain angle, it's like, ugh. But then at this angle, they're fine. But at another angle, and when their hair is like this, they're attractive. But when their hair is like that, they're not attractive. Perhaps their clothing or whatever. Like, you can't knock people's uniqueness and individuality. That may be how they like to wear their hair. That may be what, how they want to dress. You can't like get in a relationship and start to tell them to change for you. Like, that's against admiration. So I talk about admiration a lot. And I mentioned that admiration includes respect and approval. So you respect the person, their values, who they are as a person, their, gifts, talents, their boundaries as well, but also their individuality. You approve of them. People need to be accepted for who they are. Now, of course, there are people who are obese who need to really do something about their weight because it's unhealthy. And that's another topic. And I'm not supporting obesity. But however, that's that person's body, and do what they want with it. They can do what they want with it. They want to get all fat, that's their body. They can do what they want with it. But to get in a relationship with the person and try to change them when you knew they was fat, when you started dealing with them, and then say you need to get in the gym. You can't do that. You need to declare people that you are on the fence with. You need to say, let me just put them in that category. So for me, it's become easy. If I'm looking at a woman and I see stuff that I like but I don't like, and it's just bothering me, I just put her in unattractive category. And I say that's not somebody I'm going to pursue or talk to, because that's bothering me. And like I said, y'all, once again, who you are is who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I want to be clear. I don't want anybody listening to this feeling like, they need to change. And that's the problem. A lot of people are going out here and getting surgery to please people who may change their mind or leave you or something. Like, there was a story of a woman who went and got a BBL because her husband was talking about it, and eventually, or her man was, this committed relationship of some kind, and then he left her right after she got it. Not because of that, but just, he was done with her. The relationship had moved on. Maybe the compatibility changed, priorities changed, or whatever. But here she's stuck. She's stuck with this surgery and what she did to herself. Okay, so are you really attracted to that person? Okay, are you really attracted to that person? That's the question here. You have to ask yourself. All right, now, this is all about visual stuff. You could apply this to other stuff. I have a compatibility list. I talked about this, 11 points. The name of the video, I think, is called "Are You a Match? How to Find the match for you," or something like that. You can type that in the search engine and see what comes up. But if there's other stuff that's bothering you outside of visuals and it's just nagging you, that may not be a person that you should be with. But I'm not going to go any further about this. Once again, just to leave you again, stop calling people ugly. Don't see people who don't fit your preference, who are pretty far from it, as ugly. That's just a different type of person. Okay, that's all. They just have a different preference, because look at how they look. Their mother probably looks like that, or their father, and somebody had sex with their mother and father and had a whole relationship and family, so they found each other attractive, and so the child is just a product of that. So just because you think they're ugly, it's just simply they're far from your preference. You have a different subconscious programming as to what you find attractive, and that's okay. But don't mistreat anybody else. Don't stop telling people they ugly. Even if you're not in their presence, like I said, you with your homegirls, or you and your mans are, y'all hanging out and talking about women, don't say that. Just say, look, that she don't fit my preference. I got a different preference. I like a nose a certain way. I like a skin tone a certain way. I like hair texture a certain way. I like a certain height. But don't say she's ugly. Another thing that guys be doing, which is kind of moist, is not standing on what they find attractive personally for the sake of the group of other males. So they may show a picture of a woman they dating, and the rest of the males in the group will say, she whack, man, you hitting that? And then they'll feel bad, and then they'll break up with the woman. I've heard of that happening. And all those guys are doing is projecting their preferences on to him, and then he's having this group think like a woman, and then ending a perfectly good relationship, with a woman because of what his male friend said. So we got to stop that. Women do that all the time, and they should be stronger to stand on their square as well, but we got to stop doing that. So I got other talks on attraction. Check out those videos and stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening to the end. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can email me at neal@nealreal.com. You can also go to my website, nealreal.com. I encourage you to check out nealreal.com. That's NealReal.com. Or you can email me at neal@nealreal.com. Have a blessed day.